Hello and welcome. This is the Astrology of the Week Ahead podcast. I'm your host, Chani Nicholas. In this episode, we are talking about the week of July 31st. In honor of Venus's retrograde through Leo, we're gifting everyone a 30-day all-access pass to the Chani app. With this premium upgrade, you can access all the resources you need to support and empower yourself during this pivotal journey. All you have to do is enter the code VenusRX30. That's VENUSRX30 in the redeem offer code section of the app, and we'll handle the rest. But hurry, the code expires on August 11th. Terms and conditions apply. This week starts out with a bang. We've got a full moon on August 1st, and it is feeling itself. It's feeling itself in the way that it's going to most likely correct us in a couple of different ways. Why? Well, it's a full moon in Aquarius, which is really, really beautiful for envisioning what the future could be. It's a full moon that focuses on the collective. It's a full moon that focuses on our ability to conceive of things intellectually. And it's a full moon that reminds us of the importance of clarity. And it's backed up by this other configuration that's happening that's definitely going to fact check us. Like, it's a call to the principal's office in a lot of ways. And it's also met with something that feels really victorious. So it's a really mixed bag. It feels a little on the severe side, I'm not going to lie. But it's also helping us to really define our vision and to be very succinct and clear and direct. Maybe not kind, but we could throw that in for good measure, about the things that we want to bring forth, about the ways in which we all need a little perspective. This world, this life is full of sorrows and problems. And in order to solve them, we need a lot of different strategies. And what Aquarius brings to the group, what Aquarius brings to all of us, is its ability to see things from the outside. Its ability to move out of the center and go to the margins or go to the outskirts and view something from the outside in. It's not caught up in herd mentality. And this week really does ask us to do that. It's like, okay, you've got your personal feelings about stuff, and that's legitimate. But if you stay in them, you might not get to the solution necessary. So this week is saying, what is actually true? What are the facts? And if you can stick with the facts, you're going to be able to get to solution. If you can stick with the facts this week, you're going to be able to work with this full moon in some pretty big and broad ways. Because what's also happening with this full moon is it's sitting in a square with Jupiter, and Jupiter is about bounty, but it's also about having a really broad perspective. So again, this week and this full moon feel like it's trying to help us come to solutions, but they are not solutions that are devoid of facts and figures and deadlines and reality checks. So it's like we're trying to problem solve within confines, within a container, within a limit and a boundary. And sometimes that's when our most creative work comes to life. And again, because there's something else that's happening on Tuesday, the something else is Mars trine Jupiter, because that's also happening on Tuesday, there is this fuel for winning. There is this feeling of triumph. There is this desire to win. We just have to play within the boundaries that are set. So this full moon is going to fact check us. It's going to be a little bit of a know-it-all, so we might get a like, well, but actually a lot of the time. But it's also going to help us to tap into our reserves and to go for a victory. So that's all happening on Tuesday. So Tuesday is like this big moment. We start the week out with a bit of a bang. So by Wednesday, we might be like, okay, I'm done now. I would like to go and have my weekend here. Why isn't it Friday? The cool thing is that by Sunday, there's this really like sunny, bright, and expansive astrology. The sun is going to complete its square to Jupiter. And in this kind of setup, it feels really expansive. It feels like we're ending the week with a big win. So even if we begin the week with a no, or like a reality check, or like something that feels like a little bit of a crunchy challenge, we're going to end the week with something that feels bright and expansive and sunny. So just keep that in mind, whatever the full moon brings up on Tuesday or at the beginning of the week. There is some kind of solution that's coming at the end of the week. And it's interesting because next week's astrology is really similar to that. So we're faced with something at the beginning of the week that feels like, wow, I can't really change that. I've got to just deal with it. And then by the end of the week, it feels like because we do that, there's something really good waiting for us. And because this full moon is happening in Aquarius, and the other pieces of astrology, Mars and Mercury, are in Virgo, there's something here that's really good for problem solving. This week and the full moon and everything that happens on Tuesday helps us to solve a problem, utilize our skills, and see a bigger, broader picture, and possibly even some really important solutions. But we can't get to those solutions if we're only thinking about ourselves. Aquarius is a sign that is very group-minded. It really wants to know what the best thing to do for the collective would be. And Virgo is a sign that's very service-oriented. So neither one of them are thought to be self-centered, right? It's not about the self, it is about the group. It's not about the self, it is about the service that I can anchor my life around. And if I can utilize the self to serve, especially the collective, then I'm going to feel satisfied. And again, that's what this week's astrology is really orienting us towards. So this is a really good time to think about how you can utilize your own self, your persona, your personality towards something that might be an offering to the collective, or might be used for the collective good, or any kind of skill that you can apply really deftly and really specifically to a problem that, again, especially helps the group or helps the whole. This full moon is happening in opposition to the sun, of course, because the sun and moon are always 180 degrees away from each other at a full moon, but also Venus retrograde. So the Venus retrograde happening in Leo during Leo season is very much getting us entwined and embedded into our own stories and narratives around worthiness and love and intimacy and relationship. And am I lovable? Am I likable? Am I worthy of love? All that kind of stuff. And that's really, really good, very important work. And this full moon is being like, yes, and there's a whole other world out here. So not so much with the navel gazing this week. This is much more solution oriented, and it's a really nice balance, or it could be. I know the Mercury Saturn of it all might feel rude, and it might actually be a little rude. That's fine. But I do think it's going to help us to, again, move out of whatever kind of like personal drama or pain or healing that we're engaged with, which again is very important, very, very, very important. We never want to skip out on it, but we do want to balance it. And I think this week might give us some of that balance. And again, that full moon has got that Mars trine Jupiter in it, and that feels like a win. So it's like, okay, I might be up against some odds. I might be getting checked a little bit, but I've also got a strategy. I've got these skills and I know how to work, and I'm just going to focus on the things that I can do. That's also what Aquarius is so good at reminding us. It's like, okay, yes, the world is a mess. Check. What can we do? What solutions do we actually have, and how can we collectively move towards them? What solutions are readily available or ones that we can work towards? And let's start at this moment. Let's stay strategic. And that Mars trine Jupiter is like, let's have some strategy so that we actually do win, even though the news of the day might be a little wah-wah with the Mercury opposing Saturn. But that Mercury opposing Saturn, again, is like, these are the limits, these are the boundaries. So within this container, what do you want to do? You can't have everything. Not everything is correct. These things work with them. So we might feel even contained in that. And then again, by Sunday, we've got Sun square Jupiter, which just feels like a party. So I'll see you at the picnic. I'll see you at the park. I'll see you at the beach. I'll see you wherever good times are being had, I hope. Sending you lots of love. Many full moon blessings. I don't know, but yes, let's go for that. This full moon is square Jupiter, so it does feel like there's some, again, spaciousness and optimism and even confidence. So let's find the solutions that we need to the vast amount of problems that we share, shall we? I'm so excited that we are less than 1 month away from the Chani app being available on Android. The Android app will be launching on August 13th, and if you join the waitlist, you'll get to download it before anyone else. Link is available in the show notes. Okay, I'll see you back here next week where we will talk about the very sweet, I hope, Venus Cazimi that's happening on August 13th. Bye for now.